Haters, haters, haters.
Shake it off, shake it off.
Like that. So that is actually the question for today is how do you actually deal with haters? Because by the way, Grant, if you are going to start a YouTube channel, are you going to have haters?
You're going to have the haters, and we're going to teach you how to deal with them in this video. Let's get going. All right, let's dive right in, guys. When you start having any kind of success, whether it's YouTube or anywhere else in life, you're going to have a few people that reach out and start imposing their opinions. So we often refer to these as trolls or haters in some cases, but let's talk about, first of all, what is an actual hater? How do you identify them, and what should you do about them?
You know, I just got to tell you, these people probably don't even want to be called haters, and the reality is that for every real hater that's just there to it's almost like their comments are written to make your life miserable. You also have a lot of other people that are just trying to offer really good feedback. And I think it's really important for those individuals not to get lumped in with this concept of haters, because the reality is whether they're a true hater or not, there's something for all of us to learn. And sometimes it's not that I need to change anything, but it's just to understand more of the way that the world can and does think, and so that I can make sure that I'm adjusting. So I think the first step for me is, before I try to do anything with it, is just ask, can I learn anything here? And
let's look at the ecosystem in context, because YouTube, a creator's platform, creates its own ecosystem. It has a following of certain type of people that think certain ways, and the comment section take on a life of their own.
It's true.
And so if somebody can get a comment on there and people can thumbs up that comment, it validates that person. Some people are willing to say some extreme things that they may not even believe themselves, but it's just a chance for them to get seen and to get validated to some degree. So it may not even have to do anything with your content at all. It may just be them trying to get their presence or opinion known in some creative way.
And the reality is these haters are going to present themselves, and sometimes they're going to use some strange or bad derogatory language. They're going to call you all sorts of names. You might get called I think about all the things. I think I've been called everything in my life, actually, at this point. And, you know, one of the questions I want to ask you, Grant, is do you just develop a thick skin and choose not to care, or what do you do to actually like try to figure out how to deal with that?
So as a creator of a YouTube channel, I feel a responsibility to make sure it's a clean, family-friendly environment. And that includes the comment section as well. Now, I can't control what comments people are going to leave, but I can, to some degree, control the types of words that they're using. So the first thing I want to tell you about is the YouTube community feature for blacklisting certain words. So if you go to your YouTube channel, youtube.com/comments, and on the left-hand side you can scroll down and find the community settings feature. In there you can actually block certain users, and if you scroll down a little further, there's a section where you can add specific words that you do not want to show up in the comments. Now, I feel a little bit dirty myself sometimes reading through all the words that I blacklisted, because it's like, take every filthy, crude, vile word you can think of and write it all out in this one little paragraph. But that's essentially what you have to do. And then every time somebody leaves a comment, it goes through this filter, and if it matches any of that criteria, it just won't show up on your channel. To the person who left the comment, they'll still see it, they'll still think that they left the comment, but to everyone else on the channel, it just won't appear.
You know, there's two different kinds of creators out there. There are those that are people pleasers, and those that really are okay with people thinking about them whatever they want. And just for a moment, I want to speak to the people pleaser, because you're looking at an ex-people pleaser that still sometimes steps into that space. And there's a desire to want to be praised or seen or recognized by other people, or certainly at least not having someone say that you've done something wrong or that you've done something bad. And if you are one of these people pleasers, it's going to be super important for you to learn your own particular strategy for how you're going to deal with haters. People pleasers beware. One of the things that you'll do is you're going to try to take a message so much to heart that it might end up altering your strategy or the way that you do your videos. And I think it's really important that you don't try to take advice necessarily from a very, very small minority that don't necessarily represent the majority. I've done that in the past, and I ended up making some poor choices where I was altering some of the things that were good that I was doing just because I was trying to please the haters. And you can't please the haters. These people aren't out there because they want your validation. They're not going to be pleased. They're out there for their own reasons, commenting and living and perceiving the world the way they are for their reasons. And no matter what you do, they're going to be there. So make sure you don't change good practices because of the minority.
And that's where I want to jump in and say here that we have an opportunity to set the tone on our video. When a video goes live, we can get down in the comments, and very frequently you can ask a question, or you can spur some kind of engagement. Hey, where are you guys from? Or what are you doing today? Or just ask some kind of a question that gets people answering your question. And what you've done now is you've set the tone, you've set the mood, and you've almost steered the comments in a positive direction right from the beginning. Whereas, you know, I would imagine there are people out there who wouldn't even consider themselves haters. They're just leaving a comment. It just comes across very negatively how they put it. And if that gets a lot of attention, that can steer the tone of the comment section in another direction that you don't really want it to go. So we can definitely be proactive about influencing how the comment section goes right up front by putting some direction on the positive.
So what do you do, though, if you're engaging with a hater, or maybe you're in the comments? And I just want to give you a practical piece of advice. If you're triggered, if you're fired up, if you're not feeling really well, that's probably not the best time to engage, because you're also the creator of this channel. And if you're engaging in warfare back and forth through words with someone that's in that negative energy, one of the things that I've found is that if you address the negativity, even trying to justify or correct it or make it better, it's amazing how often it just makes things worse.
It really does. It does every time. And it reminds me of the movie Bambi with Thumper. He gives some perfect advice where he says, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. And that really applies to the comment section. It's a real test of character to read through some of these things that people are saying and try not to take them personally. And in a lot of cases, try and respond civilly. Now, I want to talk about that a little bit more, but I just want to say, never respond negatively. If you feel triggered about something, maybe you can reply to the comment, but delete it before you actually make it public. If you need to get some of those emotions out, like I have done this before, where I've written this huge, long response to something that really triggered me, but then I actually went back and deleted it all, and I never gave it attention. Because you have to remember that whatever you give attention to, you're going to get more of it. And so if people are saying things that are triggering you, and those are the comments that you're answering, you're going to have a lot more people saying negative things, because people are going to notice those are the comments that you answer. Okay, next things next, guys. If there's somebody in the comments who's absolutely terrible, we would call this person a troll. Like, they're actively going out of their way to trigger you. Like, their whole purpose is to get an emotional reaction out of you. I call those people trolls. And I guess it stems back to this idea of fishing boats, dragging their lines. They would be trolling to see if a fish would bite. And that's what a lot of the comments do. They're trolling to see if they can get you to bite. They want to get that kind of attention. Now, personally, I don't deal with that. If I have a troll on my channel, if you go to that comment on the right-hand side, there's 3 little dots you can click with a drop-down menu that says, block this user from commenting on your channel. So if I see somebody that's actively, like proactively trying to trigger a response, I know that that nature of person is going to keep resurfacing over and over. I'll just block them right from the beginning. And in the community settings tab, you can manage the people that you've blocked. But I find that this is a very simple go-to. If you got a bad apple in the bucket, before everybody else goes bad, let's just go get that one bad apple out of there, just so we don't have to deal with them in the future. Now, that may seem a little bit harsh, and just kind of like pushing people off like that, but I promise that the way people show up, they're just going to keep showing up that way over and over and over again. And if you have a smaller YouTube channel, you might want to respond to them just in a positive way. Quite often, the comments that people leave are out of hurt or misconception, and if you address that, you can completely turn them around. But when your channel gets big enough that you're getting thousands of comments a day, it's just not practical.
Yeah, and really, whether your channel is small or big, it is important for you to manage your own energy. I mean, you're putting a lot of effort and energy into creating what you are and what you're doing, and hopefully you've got really good intentions behind that. So I always go in and just ask, hey, is there a lesson for me to learn here? And then otherwise, like Grant's saying, I'm actually not going to dedicate energy into resolving problems from individuals like that, because I could put my energy into commenting on someone that has something productive or has a great question. And listen, I can only answer so many questions a day, so I'd rather put that energy into the people that are asking for good reasons versus those that are maybe just honestly there to intentionally make trouble.
That's right. Another thing you can do is pin comments. YouTube has a feature now where if you see a comment, you can actually click on the right-hand side of it. There's an option to pin it to the very, very top. If you pin comments that are positive or that you want to see more of, then that's going to teach your audience to leave those types of comments. So you can definitely influence the mood and the tone by recognizing people who are saying good things about you. Now, I found that YouTube in general actually is a very positive place. A lot of the comments are great. The amount of comments that you get from people that are negative just represent a small, very small fraction of people who are out there. And the reason why is because most people don't comment. Most people who watch your videos won't say anything. They won't like your video, they won't leave a comment, they'll just simply watch it and move on. That's the average person. So typically the people who leave comments are going to be more on the negative side to begin with, because people who feel spurred to say something usually are agitated. So
I'd say that it's either raving fans or your haters.
Yep.
I mean, those are the people that are going to go through the effort to make sure that they're logged in, that they can drop a comment. I have an educational channel, and I'm amazed. I get every day tons of really great questions from people that just, it's like, great video, tell me about this, or educate me on that, or help me understand this. And I love that comment feature and being able to communicate with those people. And I also like creating that reputation that says, hey, me and my team were accessible. We'll be here if you got a good question. We might even make a video about it.
I also say it's important to take advice from the comments to some degree with a pinch of salt. And my disclaimer on that is don't take everything to heart, don't take it personally, but look at all the comments in general. What are people saying? What are their frustration points? Is there a lesson that you can learn from what they're saying? Now, even if they're attacking you directly and it sounds terrible, there's a lesson in there that you can internalize and say, could I really be doing things differently? Maybe this guy has a point, and then maybe I could take action on that. So I often look at the comments and I let the comments help make long-term decisions, but make sure that you don't knee-jerk react to situations. Don't act in the moment. Don't act out of emotion and passion. Like, take what is being said, consider it, make a plan, and then incorporate that into your long-term plan. So in conclusion, guys, I just say don't feed the alligators. When you see negativity out there, don't respond to them. It's actually just better to ignore them or to politely dismiss them. Because where you give the attention, you'll get more of. So we want to focus on the positive. You want to stay positive. And no matter what you do in life, there are going to be people who speak out against you. A lot of that comes to their own personal situation, their belief system, and they're not resonating with the energy that you're at. But
you know, ultimately our thoughts become our words become our actions, and our actions unfold our destiny. And so I'm really careful of every thought that I have, because if I'll focus on something negative, then I'm actually putting negativity into my future destiny. And if I'm focusing on the positive, then I'm putting positivity there. So learn what you can, and like Grant said, move on, keep it positive, keep it clean, have a great time, learn and grow.
So there you have it, guys. How to deal with haters. A quick recap. You can influence the comment section before you even get bad comments. You can pin and validate the people who are giving you the stuff that you want. And you can take it as personal advice and just roll and adapt and use this feedback to help grow your channel in a way that people are actually asking for.
Thank you so much for watching this video today. Thank you for being part of the self-made movement. Thank you for choosing to become a self-made success. If you're looking for other tips, tricks, and helps, make sure that you subscribe and ring that bell. And check out our website to see some of the other tools on how we can help you become a top-tier successful creator.
Because the fact that you're watching this video shows that you're already taking initiative. You're going to run into some hurdles, and our whole purpose in being here is to give you the tips and tricks to overcome those hurdles as they appear.